What's going on, Slay Babes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking all about the brand new ABH Norvina collection, which let me just say, I am so incredibly stoked about. I have the palette right here. This is called the Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. Volume 1. Does that mean there's Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4 to come? We don't know, but I really hope so. Here's the tea with this palette. I did already dabble into it, but you see what happened was the audio cut out about midway through, and instead of me putting up a video I wasn't like 100% happy with, we decided to trash the video completely and start all over again. So here we are. I also have the little the little lipstick bundle right here that includes 4 liquid lipsticks. Now to the naked eye, these all look identical, so I'm gonna swatch them. I'm gonna put them on my lips and I'm gonna let you guys know which ones I like, which ones I don't like, and which ones I definitely recommend. So definitely subscribe if you guys haven't already. Click that little bell because I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on this channel, and you guys aren't gonna want to miss the heat I have coming your way very soon. With that, let me zoom you in a little bit closer so that way we can start blending and get into all the deets. So I went ahead and zoomed you in just a little bit closer so that way we can talk about blending. First and foremost, I did already prime my eyelids with a little bit of eyeshadow primer. I just used this guy right here. This is my Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC. It's one of my personal favorite eyeshadow primers to use, especially when I am testing out a new eyeshadow palette. And the reason is because I don't want my eyeshadow primer to be the main reason as to why eyeshadows don't blend well. Sometimes when I use concealer, things tend to get a little bit wonky. My eyeshadows get patchy, they get blotchy, and it's just not a pretty situation. So I want to give this palette a fair shot, which is why I did use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I'm also going to go in with just a little bit of eyeshadow here. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury powder. I said eyeshadow, but I meant face powder. This one is in the shade medium 2. It definitely is really close to my skin tone. And the reason I'm going in with this color is because this is really gonna help with the overall blending of the eyeshadows. Just adding a really nice thin layer of this powder right here over top of that eyeshadow primer will allow my eyeshadow to blend very seamlessly. This is always a step I tend to do, especially when I'm working with colors, which this palette is very colorful. Now that that's done, let's actually talk about the eyeshadow palette for a second. I am blown away by the overall quality of this palette. Yes, it does retail for $60. That is very expensive, but holding this in my hand, it feels very luxe. It feels super chic. It feels like a quality product. Whereas like if you go to the store and you buy something for $60 and you get like paperboard packaging, then I would definitely feel like, okay, this definitely isn't worth like my coin or anything. But like the color story within this palette is incredible. The amount of eyeshadow you get in the pan is really good. You also get a really big mirror right here, so holla at your girl. Super good. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is called D1. It is a really beautiful yellow shade. I don't know what it is. There's something about yellows and eyeshadow palettes. I really gravitate towards them, and immediately I'm like, I need to use you in my look. Like, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm gonna find a way to incorporate yellows into my look. So I'm gonna take it on that same M441 brush, and I'm just gonna rock this in my crease. This is gonna be a soft transitional shade. Okay, so I think I have a good layer of this yellow all in my crease. As you can see, it's very soft, pretty, and diffused. The next shade I really wanna use within the palette is this one right here. This is called A5. Now, one of the main reasons I want to use this is because it is so vibrant and poppy, and I think it's gonna look gorgeous like in my crease. I'm gonna take it on an M507. This is by Morphe, and I'm really just going to stamp it right below the yellow, and I'm gonna go in small circular motions just to make sure they melt seamlessly into each other. That is pigmented, girl. That is super pigmented. But I'm about it. I'm definitely here for it. What I'm doing now is I'm just taking a little bit of that yellow on a clean M507, and I'm just kind of running it over the pink edge just to get more of a seamless blend. As you can see, it's like pink, but then with the pink and the yellow, it kind of turned a little bit orange, and then it goes to yellow. Like, that's what I like to see whenever I'm doing more of like a colorful look. I really want the colors to melt like super nice into each other. Girl, I am feeling this. You know what? Since this palette is super fun and poppy, I'm just gonna go all in and I'm gonna take this shade right here called D4. It is that beautiful blue within the palette. And I'm gonna use a Morphe M124. So it's like kind of like a stiff brush like this. Now I am picking up this shadow completely dry. My brush is not wet in the slightest bit. And I'm not going to cut my crease either. I'm just going to simply stamp it right here. On the very inner corner. And I'm just gonna stamp this eyeshadow in a way that kind of looks like I'm cutting my crease, but instead of using concealer, I'm using the eyeshadow. All right, you guys, so I went ahead and just pulled my hair back just so that way I could really get a closer look at the blue right here. I will definitely say it's extremely vibrant and pigmented. One thing I do want to note is that I do have some fallout right here in this area. Nothing I'm too concerned with, but I definitely wanted to point it out. I do feel like if I would have used more of a sticky primer, something like this one by Anastasia, it may have stuck a little bit better. I put it on completely dry. I didn't really cut my crease or anything like that, which is why I kind of feel like it's very dry on my eyelid, if that makes any sense. Like when I go in with a blending brush, I will start to see a lot of this eyeshadow actually fall onto my cheek area. So I'm thinking that this probably wasn't the best lid choice. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go in with the shimmer directly over top. But before I actually go in and do that, I do want to go in with a purple for my crease color because I really need to melt this shade in with the pink that I have going on right now. So I'm going to pick up this shade right here. It's called A3. I think this is going to be a really, really beautiful shade, and it's going to allow the blue to blend a lot better into the look. So I'm going to go in with an M507, and I'm simply going to just stamp this right here in the outer V. And I like to really just stamp this color on, and then I'll take my brush and go in small circular motions, and this really helps everything really blend together. And I'm just gonna blend this purple above that blue a little bit, but I don't want to take that blue too much into the crease because that's just not the vibe I'm going for. I am switching over to a different brush. I'm going to use a Performance E36 by Sigma, and I'm going to run this right here in the very inner corner of my crease just to blend out that harsh edge that I created with the blue, because that was not a vibe, boo. Do you see what I mean when I say when you start to really blend out the color, the blue kind of just like pew, it just like disappears? I'm not entirely sure how to make these kind of eyeshadows work because I want to see the same thing happen to me with the Riviera palette that ABH came out with. I want to say it was their purple shade or maybe even their pink shade. It just really didn't work out for me. I have no idea what caused that. So if you guys know of the best way to actually use this particular eyeshadow, let me know down below in the comments. As of right now, I can't really get it to work. Things look crazy. Not sure if I can bring it back to life, but we're sure as hell gonna try. The only way I could possibly fix this is to go in with the shimmer all over the lid to kind of cover up all that blue I put there in the beginning. So I'm gonna go in with the shade right here. This is called D2. It is a really, really beautiful, like shimmery blue purple. Like, do you guys see that? Honey, I'm in it. I definitely feel like this is gonna take this look to the next level. So I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M124. I am going to spritz my brush a little bit just to give it a little bit more slip and allow it to go on a little bit more foiled and seamless. So I actually went in and I cleaned up all of that fallout. What I'm doing now is I'm just taking that E36 by Sigma, picking up a little bit of D4, and as you can see, I started taking it right here in my crease. So right here in the outer socket, just because this area just looks a little bit bare, so I definitely feel like it needed like a little bit more blue, a little bit more definition. So I'm gonna start taking this color and I'm just gonna buff it into the shade called D2, which is more of that shimmery shade. I'm gonna switch over to a bigger brush just so that way I can cover more space at once. I'm just gonna go in circular motions until everything blends together evenly. So actually what I like about this blue is that the more and more I blend it, it kind of turns into a very like deep purple shade, which is pretty. So I'm just gonna go and open my eye pretty wide in this outer V part. And then I'm just gonna continue tapping more of D2 directly over that edge, just so that way it blends better. And I'll even go in with a little bit on my finger. Definitely feeling this vibe. I'm gonna go right back into my M507, pick up a little bit of A5 and A3, which in the palette is that really pretty pink and purple. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking this right above that blue to give it a better blend. I'm definitely feeling this a lot more than this side right here. As you can see, there was just like a little bit of space that just didn't really make sense with the look, which is why I did go in with that shade called D4, which is that very matte blue. So I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna do this side off camera, then we'll come back and we'll start working on eyeliner. So now that I have both of my eyes smoked out with all of that blue, it's time to go in with some liner. Now I'm not gonna do like your typical cat eye wing or anything like that. I'm gonna do like a smoked out eyeliner, and I'm gonna use this. This is the ABH liquid eyeliner. It's kind of like a cross mix between a felt tip liner and a brush tip liner. This liner has been on repeat. I've been wearing it non-stop. So what I like to do is I will only take a little bit of this and I'll simply line the very front of my eye, and then towards the very outer V, I'm gonna smoke it out with some of the black shadow from within the palette. So I'm gonna anchor my pinky right here, and I'm gonna look down into my mirror and draw a straight line just like that. Just gonna fill in this little area right here. Now I'm gonna pick up a little bit of D5, which is that black from within the palette, and I'm gonna use an ABH A20. This is literally the perfect like flat definer brush to do this step. So I'll pick up some of that black and I'll simply stamp it like this right above that eyeliner. I do like my liner to come to more of a slant whenever I do this smoked out eyeliner look. Some people are different. Definitely do whatever you're into. This is definitely going to give you more of a dramatic look, but honestly, I like it. I love it. So here we go. I'm going to continue stamping the black right here. And once I have a majority of the black, I'm going to take a clean M507 and really just start smoking out that liner. I went a little overboard, I'm not going to lie, but it definitely doesn't look bad. Looks pretty freaking good. So I'm going to clean up all of this fallout, pop on some falsies, do my face off camera, then we'll come back and start working on the lower lash line, and then we'll talk about the liquid lipsticks. Just like that. Let's go ahead and focus on the very lower lash line. I guess what I really want to focus on doing is really just smoking out the lower lash line and making sure it connects with the shadow on my upper lid, because I feel like if I keep it just like this, it may look a little bit strange, if you get me. So I'm gonna go right back into this palette. So freaking pretty, you guys. Granted, I did struggle a little bit with that shade called D4 in the very beginning, but for the most part, I feel like I was really able to blend the shadows very, very nicely. Not in the beginning, but I brought it home in the end, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I'm gonna go in with a flat definer brush, and I'm gonna pick up the shade called A3 from within the palette, which is this purple shade right here. I'm gonna press that closest to the lash line, and then I'm gonna go in and start smudging and smoking it out. So I'm now going to go in with a brush like this. This is actually a brand new brush by Collab launching this fall. It is one of our blending crease brushes, but I'm going to use this to really smoke out that purple on the very lower lash line, because y'all know me, I like a very smoky, sultry lower lash line. So we're gonna go all in. I'm actually going to pick up just a little bit, like when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit of A2 right here. This is A2. I'm going to take my brush and just go boing, really, really quick. Really don't need that much. And I'm gonna use this shade to really just smoke out the lash line. Now for me personally, in order to get my lower lash line really, really smoky, I like to take my mirror, hold it up here, and I'll kind of look up, just so that way I could really just smudge out this edge. Oop, and I didn't mean to get blurry on you. Freaking camera. I'm trying to show the people. But you see what I mean? Like, that looks really, really pretty. As opposed to this side, it's just kind of like, it's okay, but we want it to be very smoked out. Now, one of the last things I want to do as it relates to shadow is pop on a very pretty shimmery inner corner, and I'm thinking A1 is going to do it for me. It is a really pretty lavender. I'm going to spritz this brush with a little bit of Fix Plus. By the way, I'm just using a Smashbox Precise smudger brush to really just pop on that very inner corner. I'm really going to pat this on because I want it to be nice and vibrant. So I'm just going to stick it right in here. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of cream gel eyeliner. This one is by ColourPop. This one is in the shade Unts. and I'm gonna pop this in my waterline just to kind of bring the orange into the rest of the look. Wow. Okay, that's what I call a very dramatic look. I know I went all out with the eyes, but honestly, I really don't think people are gonna pick up this particular palette to create very basic looks. So I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. It's dramatic, it's everything I thought it would be. I'm now gonna move on to talk about the liquid lipstick set. I already took one out because I was very, very eager to figure out which one was going to look best on me. Now this comes with 4 different shades. All the shades, I'm not gonna lie, they do kind of look similar to each other, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw swatches up on the screen so that way you can see what they look like on my complexion, and you can kind of go from there. Do I personally feel like you need all 4? No, absolutely not. I feel like picking up one, you'll be good to go. For me personally, I'm gonna use this shade right here. It's called Spicy. It is more of a red. It's a very vibrant kind of like coral red. That's how I would personally describe it. I feel like this one is going to look the best with this look and the best on me. So I'm just gonna pop this on all over. So I went ahead and zoomed you out just so that way you can kind of see the look as a whole. The lip pair with the eye, I will definitely say it is a little bit much. I probably wouldn't wear the 2 out, but I really wanted to use all pieces from the collection to give you guys a complete overview and give you guys my thoughts as it relates to the palette. I do really like it. I feel like it could be a hit or a miss for a lot of people. As you guys saw, there was a point in the video where I felt like I kind of had messed up when I put that matte blue shade all over the lid. I didn't really know how to react. I didn't really know how to blend the colors together. So I feel like that could be an issue for a lot of people if you aren't really aware of the formula within this palette. Other than that though, I do really like it. As you guys can see, the colors blended very, very beautifully together and I have no complaints. As it relates to the lip bundle, I will say I definitely don't feel like you need the entire lip bundle. I feel like one of the 4 shades would work for you. I know they are of different undertones and things like that, but to have 4 shades very, very similar in color is a little bit excessive. But I mean, who am I to talk? I just did a lipstick declutter and I probably kept like all of the same nudes. So do what you want with that information. I'm not here to tell you what to buy or what not to buy. I'm here to tell you guys my personal opinion. So with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.